Thank you, everybody. Nice to be here. And nice to be choking people, so.
Yeah, just a lot of choking going on.
Yeah.
Well, I imagine there's a lot of questions from you guys. Is that right? So, but before we get into the crowd asking all of their questions, is being choked the thing you most get asked to do, like to choke someone?
It is, but unfortunately, I am not able to do the signature choke that I used to do with my hands. I have been told to never do that pose again. So I choke people with my arm. It's just as good, but
Just a slightly different choke. Obviously, you're probably most well known for being Jason Voorhees, for being the Jason Voorhees. Obviously, among other things. Did you watch the Friday the 13th franchise before you got the role of Jason?
I did. I was a fan already of those films, the first 6. And I always say to people, I try and explain how amazing it felt to... Here's a character that's known around the world already. 6 films have been done. And imagine now you're the person that's going to be playing that character. An unbelievable honor, in my opinion. So I thought, this is a chance of a lifetime. I have to do whatever I can to make that character good, believable, everything. And so I went back and watched all the previous movies again and kind of developed my own version of what I thought Jason should be like. And kind of developed some what have become trademark iconic things that people think about when they think about my version of Jason, like the breathing and, you know, a certain way I turn my body. And I remember early on doing a convention and somebody said, my favorite thing you do as Jason is when you turn your head and then your body follows. And I thought, wow, I didn't even know I did that. So it wasn't an acting thing, it was more of a natural thing that I did, and that's why it looked believable, because I wasn't forcing it. And that was the whole point of my performance, is to make it look natural.
There's a level of physicality to your performance as Jason, which, not to be dismissive of the other actors who've played him, that just isn't there. Like, when you're playing Jason, and the guys you'll agree with this entirely, when it's Kane Hodder Jason, it's so different. There's like a... Do you feel like when you've got the mask on, it just comes out, or is it something you work on?
Oh boy. That's nice. That's a good friend of mine right there. Just flip me off. Thanks, Bill.
It's Bill Moseley.
I guess he's coming up next, is he?
I think he might be doing photos.
Oh, I feel like, and you know, we did some press interviews the other day, and I answered this same question this way, I always say, get ready to roll your eyes or go, oh, come on. But I still feel like I was born to play that character. So go ahead. I didn't mean with the applause, I meant with the eye rolling, but no, I feel like I was meant to play that character, and it never feels like I'm acting. And boy, what a great release of frustration and anger when you play a character like that. You beat the shit out of people for 2 months on film. You'd never get in a fight off the set because you've released all your tension. So it's a very therapeutic for me. And I just love doing the physical stunts, of course. I've been a stuntman for a long time. And I like just doing the physical violence, I guess. I mean, I'm not sure how to explain it, but I just love doing that and making it look so graphic as much as I can without hurting anyone.
Yeah. And it looks very real. It looks very, very real. Because your first Friday movie was Seven, wasn't it? And you started off underwater. Did you do the underwater stunts yourself?
Yes, in part 7, every single shot that you see of Jason is me. And it's interesting because we shot that movie for 8 weeks, and the last 2 days of shooting, the very last 2 days after shooting for almost 8 weeks, last 2 days were the underwater stuff.
Oh, right to the end.
Even though it's the beginning of the movie, you guys obviously know that movies are not shot in sequence. So that I was already exhausted from 2 months of putting the makeup on every day, 3.5 hours to put it on, shooting 12-hour day, hour to take it off. So it was very, very exhausting. And then I had to do the underwater stuff, holding my breath for a minute, minute and a half at a time, underwater, attached to the bottom of the pool, because it was in a diving pool. But it was very, very hard way to finish shooting the film.
Well, when I was watching it, I couldn't help but think, obviously with all the weight of the costume, as you say, and the clothes sticking to you, that must have been incredibly uncomfortable and incredibly difficult.
Well, yeah, because the makeup and the entire suit, bodysuit that I wore, all latex, foam latex, so it's very porous and very absorbent. So as soon as I go in the water, it starts sucking up the water and gets really heavy, but not heavy enough to make me sink. So that's why I had to be attached by my ankle to a cable to the bottom of the pool to hold me underwater, and so I would stay upright. And it was just very hard because I had to have a regulator system with a safety diver bring it in and out of the shot. I was underwater for 2-3 hours at a time without ever coming up, just by breathing on the regulator, holding my breath, giving it to my diver, letting him swim out of the shot, doing the shot, letting him come back, and being able to breathe again. So that was a very, very hard way to shoot that scene.
It's one of the most intense things I've ever heard. I'm not a big fan of water, and watching it made me uncomfortable. And I've asked it as a question, and I'm watching you answer it, and I just feel even worse. That's horrific.
Yeah, because the other thing that you have to think about is I'm breathing on a regulator, okay? I give it up, then I have to put the hockey mask on before we start the camera. And with the dentures that I had, I couldn't seal my mouth closed completely. So water's constantly seeping into my mouth. And it just a multitude of things made it very difficult.
It's probably a good job that they've done that at the end of the movie. If you'd have done that first, you would have killed everyone for real with the frustration of, look what you made me do.
Well, yeah, because I think that's why it looks so good. Throughout the Friday films that I did, I always would talk to the actors ahead of time and say, look, when it comes to your death scene, it's not going to be easy. I'm not going to go easy on you. It's going to be very uncomfortable and pretty rough. I'm not going to hurt you, but it's not going to be easy. So at least they went into it knowing that, you know, when it was rough, they expected it.
Can I ask you, what was your favorite of the Friday series? What not to make, but what do you think's your favorite film of the four you did?
My favorite Friday film happens to be one I did, but it's also, I think, one of the best in the whole series is Part 7.
Super good.
And, you know, I'm a stuntman for a long time, so of course I'm going to love playing a character that does all kinds of big stunts. And that was by far the most stunts that ever happened to Jason.
Yeah.
And so I was happy to do that one. And the look of Jason, I think, is the best. And if only the kills hadn't been completely cut out by the ratings board or whatever, you know, every single kill in that movie was cut down to almost nothing. I still have that footage, the uncut footage, but
There's a special edition DVD to be had somewhere. My favorite personal cinema experience of my life is thanks to you. In 2002, when they released Jason X in the UK. Did anyone see Jason X in the cinema? I went.
two people.
Two people. I went on a Friday night, and it was a first date. And the girl I was taking out, she's like, "What film are we going to see?" And I was like, "Jason X." What's Jason X? It was Jason from Friday the 13th goes into space and kills people. She's like, "What are we really going to see?" Jason X. Wow. And we went in, and it was the best time. The whole cinema was packed, and everybody cheered every kill.
As it should be.
And it was rowdy, and it was awesome. And I'd just like to thank you for that, because I ended up going out with her for like 2 years. It didn't work out, but Jason X
Didn't ruin anything
no.
for you.
And the Christmas after it, I bought her an action figure of you. Just look at that.
Wow. And how do you not love the frozen head kill? Come on, man. That is pretty iconic. Freeze a girl's head, look at it, which was my idea, by the way. They said, pull it out and smash it. And I said, yeah, but Jason might pull it out, look at it, and then smash the fucking thing. So
Yeah.
just admire what you've done first before you ruin it.
Honestly, man, it was so, I love Jason X. I think it's incredible. It's such a good film. Has anyone got any questions for Kane? Oh, over there, right away. Sorry, Tony. Or maybe not.
Oh.
Hi. Mine's more of a request rather than a question. It's our friend Glenn's birthday today, so I wondered if you could wish him a happy birthday, please.
Can we wish your friend a happy birthday? What's his name?
Glenn.
Can we say happy birthday to Glenn?
Where is he? Glenn?
Glenn, can you stand up? Make your presence known.
Woo! Oh, happy birthday, Glenn. Stop over at the table before you leave, and I'll punch you in the face.
Oh.
You're welcome.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
I haven't punched anybody in the face in weeks.
Oh.
So it'll be nice. Thank you.
I feel like he's taken the punch that should have been meant for me. Cheers, Glenn. Hey, who else has got any questions
Okay, right.
that may or may not result in physical violence?
In fact, I'll come to you first.
Hi, I wanted to say, what was your favourite most movie? I know you know, but what was your favourite Jason you played in the movies, and why?
Could you repeat that? Sorry, mate.
Okay. What was your favourite Jason you were playing in the whole movies?
What was your favourite Jason? Like which version of Jason from the films?
Like from the film that you played, what was your most favourite, and why was it your favourite?
What was your favourite Jason to play and why? Which version? Like which?
Were you not listening before?
Yeah, well, I did listen. It's because I was one here again.
It was part 7.
It was
I
7,
mean,
yeah.
Okay,
I loved every one I did, but part 7 is my favorite. And it's because of the look.
Yeah, it is.
You're responsible for so many on-screen deaths. I was just curious, which one was your favourite and why?
Okay, so favorite on-screen death that I've created, I assume you're referring to. There are some honorable mentions, the frozen head being one, punching the boxer's head off in Jason Takes Manhattan is up there. The motorized weed whacker to the stomach is good, but I have two answers to that because my very favorite kill that I've ever performed was as Victor Crowley in the first Hatchet movie.
I think it deserves bigger applause than that.
And that would be when I ripped the woman's head apart by her jaw, open it like someone said earlier, a Pez dispenser. That's my all-time favorite kill, but my favorite Jason kill is sleeping bag.
Yes.
As I always say, I love the fact that I killed someone with something that is not a weapon. That's creative. Anybody can kill with a weapon, but when you kill with something that is supposed to provide you comfort, that's pretty creative.
Oh, yes, hello.
Hi, Kane. I just want to touch back on the stuntman episode. When I was younger, I really liked people like, Yakanut Knut and Vic Armstrong. And I was just wondering, when you were younger, what inspired you to basically, what movies inspired you or stuntmen to be an actual stuntman yourself?
I also enjoyed their work because maybe we're close to the same age, I don't know, but they were legendary. And somebody that I really looked up to was a guy named Dar Robinson because he was known for doing high falls. He did the one in Steel, like 323 feet, I think it was. Or no, maybe that was AJ. There was two guys, Dar Robinson and AJ Bakunis, used to keep topping each other with a higher high fall in a movie. And those of us that do high falls, not every stunt person does high falls. And usually the guys that do high falls are smaller guys. So there's not a lot of people that are my size that do high falls. So it was much easier if it was a big character falling to his death. There was less competition to get that stunt. So I always loved doing that. I never went real high. I went like 70 feet. But still, that's pretty high to throw yourself off of a building and just land in an airbag. But Dar and AJ, because they were so pioneering in high falls, I enjoyed watching both of them. And then, I just kind of didn't really have anybody I wanted to emulate. When I started doing stunts, I just wanted to have a successful career, that's all. And if I had a career where I made a living doing something I loved, like stunts, then I would have been happy. When this kind of stuff came along and then everything changed, of course, you play a character that everyone knows, then a lot more doors open for you. And I've said it a million times, I never anticipated ever signing an autograph. Stunt people don't do that. They're in the shadows, respected by certain people, but not really known. So the fact that I became known for something, I think I really appreciate it more than someone who goes into acting because they want to be famous, and that happens.
Hi. I just wanted to ask like a double-sided question about Jason Goes to Hell. I'm here, by the way. So Jason Goes to Hell. You don't play Jason for that much in the film because it's all about him body swapping, but you do play Freddy Krueger's hand at the end. So the two questions are, how did you feel when you found out Jason, in the classic sense as we know him, wasn't in the movie that much? And how did you react when you found out you was going to play Freddy Krueger?
As far as when I first read the script and realized I wouldn't be Jason that much in the movie, I was a little disappointed because, part 7 and part 8, I'm throughout the movie. So I'm working constantly. And even though I stunt coordinated Jason Goes to Hell. So I was still there every day. I wasn't in the costume as much as I had been accustomed to. So I didn't care for it as much. And even as a horror fan, I wasn't sure if I liked the idea. I mean, Jason, people like to see Jason because what he does on screen. I don't think the response was as good to Jason's being in another person. It just didn't really work as well as, you know, the previous ones. So I wasn't too happy about that, but at the same time, that was the most uncomfortable version of Jason I've ever been in that makeup. It was bulky, it was hot, I had to wear a cool suit underneath it, and it was hard to move in because it was so thick. So that part of it wasn't as disappointing. At least I don't have to be in everything as often. And then at the end, where I had my hand in the Freddy glove, I read that, and we went to a production meeting, and I said, first of all, I just want to say one thing. There's nobody else's hand that is going to be in that glove except mine. I don't care what anybody else says. The makeup effects guys wanted to do it. You know, the director wanted to do it. I said, nope, that's me. So end of discussion, I'm doing it. I also kept the glove because it was made by the same guy that made Robert's gloves for the Nightmare movie, so it was identical. And I don't think you can tell when you watch the shot, but as I reach up and grab the mask, I'm underneath the set, of course. It's just a set like this. I'm under here. The sand is on the floor here, and there's a foam rubber hole that I reach up through. And I was looking at a monitor that was attached to the camera that was looking at the mask. So I could see my hand and see where I needed to grab and then pull the mask in. And as I grabbed the mask and started pulling it into the ground, what appeared to be the ground, all the blades started breaking off the fingers. And I was cringing because I was like, oh shit, I'm ruining this glove. And pull it through and there's no blades left. They're falling on the ground, and I had them repaired, of course, but it was just a weird feeling to think I was ruining a Freddy glove.
It's not a question, but, well, it is a question. It is actually a question, but will you punch me in the face?
Well, how old are you? Yeah. I would get in trouble if I punched you in the face, so I'll have to just stomp on your head. Much more humane. And better sounding, too.
Following on from that question, you played Freddy, you played Jason, you're a stunt double for Leatherface, and obviously you are Victor Crowley, which we love Hatchet, don't we?
And I don't know if anyone's ever seen a short that Adam Green did called Driving Lessons.
No.
It's Donald Pleasance at one point in the film says he's trying to figure out how Michael got from someplace to someplace, and he says something, I don't know what exactly he says, I can't remember, something like, well, he didn't take driving lessons. And so, of course, that spawned in Adam Green's sick mind to have a short where Joel David Moore from Dodgeball and from the first Hatchet movie is a driving instructor and has a new student that he's teaching driving lessons to, and that new student is me with a Michael Myers mask on. So showing that's how Michael figured out how to get from one place to another. And it's kind of a funny comedy thing, but doesn't really count because it wasn't in a film, but I have had that Michael mask on.
So Michael, Jason, Freddie, Leatherface, Victor Crowley. Is there anyone left? In fact, is there anyone left? Is there anyone left that you would like to play? Is there anything you'd love to get your teeth into?
Well, I mean, somehow, I don't think it'll ever happen, but I have always wanted to play Frankenstein. Because it's such a classic from my childhood and stuff. And, you know, not that unlike Jason, really.
Yeah.
You know, not quite as robotic. I wouldn't do it quite as robotic as, you know,
No, you'd
previous.
be a terrifying
But
Frankenstein.
that would be fun.
Just over there. Sorry.
Hi, Kane. The first time, the first time when I've seen Friday the 13th, the game, I thought this is Kane Hodder. And then I've seen on YouTube, I was like, this is the best thing ever. That's why I bought the game and everything, because it was you. And how did you feel playing as a video game character instead of being a movie? Did you enjoy it?
That's Nico, right?
Aldo, yeah.
Oh,
Sicilian
sorry.
guy.
Sorry, yeah. First of all, when they contacted me saying they were doing a video game and wanted me to do the motion capture, at the very beginning, it was a video game called Summer Camp. And the character was not called Jason. I'm thinking, wait a minute. I'm going to be the killer at a summer camp in a video game. Then they hired Tom Savini, Harry Manfredini to do the music, and I'm thinking, well, they have something else in mind here. I believe they approached Sean Cunningham with all those players involved and to make it the official game, which they did. So I was honored that they wanted me to do the motion capture because, you know, it's not the same as doing a film. Similar, but there's quite a few differences. And I was just very happy that they thought I should be the one that gamers would recognize my performance. And turns out that most people say they do. And I love the fact that I did all the motion capture because it took the course of almost 2 years to do all that. A year and 10 months from start to finish. And there were so many sessions and we would do 30 kills in one day sometimes with the variants and everything because, you know, you have to look ahead and say, if this happens and this happens during this kill, then that changes things. And so you have to make all kinds of different variations of every kill. So it was a fun process, and loved the fact that I was part of it.
And that is all we have got time for today. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a massive round of applause for the incredible Kane Hodder.
Thank you, guys.